Hi everyone and welcome to Essential Oils for the Whole Family. I'm Theda Hall of wellbeing and I'll be taking you through this session tonight. So if this is the first time you've joined us in this video series, I'd like to introduce myself a little more. So I started my wellness business about 5 years ago now. And in this business I help people with their own well-being through various modalities. These include Reiki, essential oil massage, and essential oil supplementation for their lifestyle to support their health. I started my own wellness journey when I was 4.5. That might sound quite young to remember, but it was quite a big event when I had my first asthma attack at this age. And so I've used holistic health in the past 10 to 15 years to really support myself in breaking free and having some more freedom and control over my own well-being. And in fact, with the essential oils and additional in the last 2 years, additional to what I've been doing with my other lifestyle factors, I've been able to reduce and eliminate all medications that I had needed for the asthma symptoms. So I'd like to take you through a presentation, and this presentation will take you through my top 5 out of this big load of oils that I have to show you, and then I'll just briefly run you through the rest of my favourites that I have here tonight. I'll just share my presentation with you. So here we go. This is my family. So there's me on the far right, my mum and dad, and my 3 brothers and sisters. So my brother Dylan and my sisters Laurel and Leah are looking gorgeous. And I think this was an Easter day, possibly 10 years ago now. So this is my happy family, and as you can see, we enjoy being out in nature. And I've had an affinity for nature for my whole life as well, and I have a degree in environmental science, in fact, and I also have a graduate diploma in sustainability and environmental health. So this is really where my passion has stemmed from, for natural ways to look after ourselves. So in terms of your family, I'd just like to first look at this holistic approach to well-being. So we do have some choices when it comes to our health and well-being. There's the modern approach, as you can see on the left, where we have a symptom, we may go to a doctor or specialist, they look at us and then they prescribe us a medication that will alleviate that symptom for us. Now this tends to lead to us relying on that medication or treatment over and over and over again over time, and it may potentially have side effects for us as well as masking that symptom. But it doesn't necessarily get to the root cause and treat the root cause of that symptom. Whereas a more holistic approach, we look at the root cause first, so we focus on that before we look at the symptom, so before we may even get to having that symptom. So for example, for my asthma, I looked at my breathing, so why was that being affected? Why were my lungs reacting this way to cause the symptom of an asthma attack, or wheezing or shortness of breath at times? And I did use specific essential oils to support this, and also I used lifestyle factors. So diet, what was I eating? My exercise, what was I doing to increase my lung capacity and my resilience in that way? And then on top of that, if I was having symptoms, how do I relieve those? Do I want to go to the medication that I know does have some side effects for me over time, or do I want to go to a natural way of treating that will actually be helpful for my body and won't have side effects associated with that? And in that way I was able to eliminate my medications and still working alongside my doctor, of course, to monitor and make sure that I'm still symptom free. I'm happy to say that I am to this day, since about 2 years ago. So this is where essential oils come in, but you might not even realize what essential oils are. So I'll just very briefly describe what they are. So they are the oils that are found in specific parts of all different plants. So they can be the flower, the leaves, the bark, the roots, all parts of plants. And these are there naturally to help the plant to survive and function optimally. So they might fight pests and disease. They might fight off certain environmental factors that the plant has to deal with in its environment, so it helps it to actually thrive in that environment. And it also might attract insects to the plant to actually pollinate and help reproduce. So they have a variety of different functions in plants in natural ways. So we can actually harness these natural properties to interact and affect our cells in a positive way in our bodies. So essential oils are able to go inside our cells and interact with the organelles and parts of our cell in a natural way. And they're also then able to influence the function of systems in our bodies and organs in our bodies that we're wanting to target for our wellness. And as you can imagine, essential oils are very potent. So on the top there, you'll see some peppermint leaves, and on the left is the leaf, and on the right is a magnification, and it has the little oil sacs on the surface of the leaf. So these tiny little oil sacs, we take those, we extract those off with steam. So the plant matter and the water steam goes to one side, and the oil is then siphoned off. And so we're taking this huge amount of plant matter to make a very small amount of oil. So in that way, you can imagine they're quite potent. And an example there is that 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is equivalent to 28 cups of peppermint tea that you might drink. And also in this way, they're very effective and cost effective, because we're only needing a very small amount. 1 drop normally is the dose, or even less can be, to treat or support our bodies in the way we want. And to give you an idea, a 15ml bottle, so it's the size, 15 mils, has 250 drops, so potentially 250 or more doses. Now you'll probably notice all around me that I have doTERRA brand essential oils. So I just want to explain why I chose to use and recommend, and why I've selected doTERRA as the essential oil of my choice. So to give you an overview of what essential oils are out there, we have the vast majority of essential oils are synthetic. Now these are all oils that you might get inside products, so cleaning products, fragrances, perfumes, etc. There's pre-made mixed products. So these are essential oils in there, and often these are synthetic. But also you might find oils on the shelf in a store that have also got synthetic components to them. Now we don't really want so many synthetic things in our lives or in our bodies, especially because these can have deleterious effects on us as opposed to being positive and beneficial. They might kind of smell nice, although they often don't, but apart from that, they're not going to be very healthy for us. The next grade of oil is food grade. So these ones have been assessed and tested to make sure that they're fit for human consumption. So they may be in some foods that you eat. There could be, say, peppermint essential oil in your lollies or something like that, or lemon essential oil, different things like that in foods. But even these ones, we don't know whether they've got other contaminants in there, or how they've been treated to be extracted to get the essential oil. So again, there can be contaminants, even if they are food grade, things like herbicides, pesticides. So we can't be assured that they're organic at all. And we also don't want these contaminants in our bodies because, again, bodies are just going to have to process that and could have deleterious effects on us. And then lastly, the smallest percentage of essential oils are CPTG oils. Now, what the heck does that mean? So these are certified pure therapeutic grade. So let's just break down that again. What does that mean? So certified pure. They're certified by a third party. So it's not doTERRA that's testing them or the company that sells them. It's another party altogether that are very specialised in detecting and being detectives at seeing if there's anything contaminating an essential oil, or anything synthetic that's trying to sort of extend that oil to make more money off smaller amounts of oil. So they know, they're the watchdogs, they can certify that the products are pure. And so there was no herbicides and pesticides, so it's beyond organic. There's nothing synthetic, there's nothing else contaminating, there's only what is on the label. So in this case, lemon essential oil is the only thing you will find in here, no matter how you minutely down you test it in all different ways, you will not find anything except the lemon essential oil. And the therapeutic grade portion of it tells you how potent it is. So if you have smelt doTERRA oils and you have smelt other brands of oils, you'll find that, say, lemon essential oil will smell like lemons. It will smell like when you rub the skin of a lemon and you get some oil coming off, it will actually smell like that. Whereas others, they might smell a bit like lollies or dishwashing liquid or something. They're not those therapeutic grade oils, or they don't have as pungent a fragrance at all. So these ones, certified pure, nothing else except what's on the label, therapeutic grade, very potent, they're going to give you that therapeutic effect. So you can trust these ones to actually deliver on what they're promising on the label. And just to reiterate, if you haven't heard me say this before, that they are therapeutic grade oils. So this means we need to be careful, take care in how much we use, how much we're putting into our body, what ones we're using and how we're using them. Because some, and I'll tell you this next, some can't be ingested. So we're making sure we're being careful there. And certain members of the family have to have certain different concentrations of the oils, so we'll go through that a little bit more. So just because they're CPTG doesn't mean they can be slathered all over your body, drunk in large quantities, or even have a whole bunch every day, just because they are very potent. And we can have side effects if we don't use them correctly. So I will offer you at the end a half-hour consultation with me, because I don't want you to just run off and go buy some oils because you're really excited. That'd be great, but I just want to make sure you use them correctly and you get the ones that are best suited for you and your family. So I'll just very quickly go through the 3 broad ways that we can use essential oils. So the first way is aromatic, so that's breathing it in. And you'll see here I've got 2 different diffusers going. This one is a smaller one, and it's perhaps one that your dad might like to use, or your partner. Men might like that one a bit more because the darker colour look pretty cool on the office desk. And then we have this larger one here, and it's a bit more of a kind of a generic, maybe mum or granny would like that one. So aromatically, so we're breathing it in, and you may associate this with aromatherapy. So the aromas go up through the nasal cavities and actually interact directly with our brain. So something like orange, mild orange scent, you might think, oh, that reminds me of da da da. Maybe it was peeling lots of oranges when you were kids and you had an orange tree. This is because it interacts directly with our memory in our brains, and it also interacts with our emotional bodies as well. So this is aromatherapy, aromatic. So delivered with a diffuser, or you can even just put a drop into the palm of your hand and then rub that together, get it warm, and inhale that directly. Or you could place it on your upper chest and let that diffuse up into your nose area. The second way is topically, so I just kind of alluded to it there. So with topically, we want to be careful with different members of the family. We don't want children or babies to get it into their mouth or eyes or nose or any sensitive areas. So if we're applying topically, first for everybody, I'd say suggest to start with that we're diluting down the oil with a carrier oil. So I have here a fractionated coconut oil, and that's just a liquid coconut oil, but you can use any of your favorite carrier oil that you would like. And so applying it topically, put a decent amount of carrier oils just in the palm of your hand, a couple of drops, maybe just one to start with, of the essential oil that you're wanting to apply. And then to start with children, I would place it only on the soles of their feet. Or even with babies, just so they can't even reach anywhere and get it on their hands and then into their mouth, I would place it on the base of their spine or the back of their neck, and diluting it even more. So again, I can tell you the specific ways to use those if you'd like a consultation, but just knowing that we're diluting that down a lot more for babies, and there's lots that you should and shouldn't use for them. And then for kids, it's about half as much as you might use. So if you use 2 drops, you do 1 drop for the children. And so yeah, topically dilute it down. You can place it directly to the area. So if it's for aching muscles, you can place it directly on those muscles. For any skin complaints like acne and things that we'll talk about, you can dab it directly on. You can use a lot of the oils neat, so that's without the carrier oil, but you may want to start by using a carrier oil just to make sure there's no skin sensitivity. If you are using any citrus oils, lemon, lime, wild orange, any of those ones, just being aware that they are photosensitive. So that means that if you put them on skin that's going to be exposed to the sun, they can cause sunburn. So we're just wanting to use those oils underneath clothing, just out of the direct sunlight. And then the third way we can use them is as a food additive. And this could be in drinks and cooking. There's so many ways to use it. Very simple example is that peppermint tea we talked about. So just a cup of hot but not boiling water, because you don't want to lose too much of the oil. And then just 1 drop of peppermint or lemon or anything like spearmint, any kind of tea flavouring that you'd like. And you can just drink that. Or in cold water, a few drops of lemon and lime in a jug of cold water drunk throughout the day would be very nice and refreshing, cleansing for your body. And then in any cooking, so once you've done the actual hot cooking part of the process, you can then add the essential oils in, starting with 1 drop and then working up, tasting as you go, just to make sure you like the flavour. And there's lots of herbs and spice flavours we can use, savoury, sweet, all kinds of foods. Okay, so to get on to the topic of today, my top 5 plus oils for the whole family. Now you'll see why I've put the little plus there shortly. So again, this is my family. Mum and Dad, my 2 sisters and brother. So the first essential oil, and it is one that I have in my trusty kit here, is Melaleuca, or commonly known as tea tree. So this is the Australian tea tree, Melaleuca altinifolia. And this one is really good for disinfecting, especially good for skin. So it has antiseptic, antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral effects on the skin. So this is a really great one for acne treatment. You can apply it neat, but if you do have sensitive skin, I'll tell you another one that's probably better for you. But if you have spots, you can apply it directly, just dab it on directly to the spot before you go to bed, and then wash it off in the morning, and it will really disinfect those, dry them, and just help to heal in general. Another great one for the family when you have kids going off to kindy and school and things is head lice treatment. So you've probably seen a lot of tea tree based head lice treatments around in pharmacies and things. But the Melaleuca, because it's the doTERRA one, the therapeutic grade concentrated one, you might find that this works a bit better. So what you need to do is get a small amount of carrier oil, so that coconut oil, and then putting a decent amount of drops, so maybe 20 drops into that, and then just mixing it up and rubbing it through the hair, getting it right through, probably using a comb and then possibly a knit comb just to really get it in, and then leaving that on for at least an hour or two. Just make sure you're not getting it too much onto the skin of the face or anywhere into the eyes or nose or ears, because it can be irritating, especially in the eyes. You don't want it there. So probably tying the hair back, even covering it with a cap just so the kids start touching it, going and watching your favourite TV show for a couple of hours or something, because you don't want to be rushing around outside, reading a book, something like that, just being nice and quiet for a little while, then it do its magic, and then combing it through with a knit comb again, and then rinsing it all out, and probably continuing to comb out, as you can probably remember as a child yourself, and with your kids if you have them already. So lots of combing. But yeah, the essential oil, the tea tree one, will actually also prevent the lice jumping onto the head, or act as a bit of a repellent. So you could actually just put a few drops, my friend's done this, put a few drops into the hairbrush of the kids, or even yourself if that's a problem in the household, and just brushing that through before they go off to school in the morning. And that will just help to deter anything jumping on and latching on, and just it'll be slippery for them as well. So yes, head lice. Another one is for anything around the sore throat, congested feelings, things like that. You can do the old, put a few drops in some steaming bowl of water, mix it around a little bit. It'll float on the surface, but just mix it a little bit, and then the steam will come up, and just place a towel over the bowl, leaning over your head, and just gently breathe that in 5 to 10 minutes, and it will just help with that to relieve those sore throat congestion type feelings. Now this one, as I mentioned, Manuka. So this one is for more sensitive skin. So you can use it in all the same ways, but if your child or yourself has more sensitive skin, then this will be a better option to start with. May not be as potent for the head lice one, but if it's helping to reduce irritation for the skin, if that's a problem, it will be effective as well. So again, great for acne, and for this one, because it's a bit more mild, you can just dab it on twice a day. You may want to use carrier oil as well, but you could use it neat, just to maybe try just a little spot to start with. If it does cause irritation, just dilute and see if that's a bit better for you. A good one for Manuka is for dandruff and itchy scalp. So this is what causes dandruff, is the dry flaky skin of the scalp coming off. So a few ways you can use it. You can just pop a few drops into the shampoo and conditioner that you put into your palm, and then just use it as normal. just making sure with the shampoo phase you're really getting down into the roots of the hair, into the scalp, and actually onto the skin of the scalp. And then another way you could use it for that, to actually treat that itchy scalp, is to put it with a decent amount of carrier oil, a few drops of the manuka, and then massaging it into the scalp through the hair and leaving that maybe tied up in it with a cap overnight would be good. And then just washing that as normal in the morning, and that will just help to soothe that itchiness. Another good use for the manuka is a deodorant, so the whole family can use this one. Probably not the youngest kids, they probably don't need it, but the teenagers, adults, it's really good. You can just add it with a bit of fractionated coconut oil or carrier oil, a couple of drops there, just putting it onto the areas affected. Or you can actually put it into a bath if you're particularly odorous after exercise. You can just control the body odor that way by just having a thin coating of it on your body. So you're just putting a few drops into your bath, mixing it quite well, because it will just float otherwise. So you're just mixing it quite well, having that bath, and it will just put that onto your skin, and also some will absorb through the skin into your body. And it's good for foot odor. So if anyone's suffering from foot odor, which is caused by bacteria and fungus that create odors as they're kind of breaking down the waste products on your feet, you can apply some of this neat or with the carrier oil onto your feet before you put your socks on, and that will just help with the antibacterial action, antifungal action as well. Good for insect bites and stings, so just applying it neat as soon as possible after the sting or bite has happened, and that will relieve pain and swelling for you. So the manuka has been used by Māori for centuries, and they know its amazing properties, and it's actually Māori iwi that are supplying this to doTERRA. So there's an amazing story behind it, the co-impact sourcing story. If you'd like to look that up, I can put a link to it underneath in the comments of this video. And the last one for manuka is wound healing and cleaning. So if you have a decent sized wound and you're wanting to clean it straight away, so you want to flush it with nice clean water first, get any debris out of there, and then you put, what have we got, 3 drops of manuka into maybe half a cup of water, and mixing that quite well just to get it sort of mixed in, so otherwise it will just float on top. And then flushing the wound with that. So it's just gently flushing it through, and this will help to clean any bacteria or things that are sort of floating there, and also with general wound healing. And then obviously you're dressing it after that. Right, the next one, oh, and just to mention also that the manuka comes either in this size bottle, so 5 ml, which is neat, so pure oil, or the touch roller is a pre-diluted 10 ml roller with the manuka plus the fractionated coconut oil, so you can apply that straight on to any like bee stings or cuts, wound healing things, kind of skin complaints. Or you could put that one straight onto any acne kind of areas around your face as well, and body. So the next one here is eucalyptus. And this one is also good for insect bites and stings. So it helps to soothe those. It's a good little first aid one to have. It does have those antibacterial type properties as well, so we can use it in cleaning products if we want to make our own cleaning products, and I do have other videos that do explain some of those things for you. This one's also good for sore throat, and it's, again, we can use it the same way with that towel and the hot water basin with the stem, breathe that. And another thing it's really good for is easing sore muscles. So if you've ever had a steam bath or a sauna, you might remember putting eucalyptus oil onto the steamer, and that goes up into the air and it kind of clears your airways a bit too, and it's for soothing your muscles, helping to soothe those muscles. So you can actually apply it directly on, so I would advise using some carrier oil, a couple of drops of the eucalyptus, and just applying it to any areas of sore muscle tension. The next one is a very versatile essential oil, and this one is lavender. So lavender has so many great properties, and it's probably got all the properties of the ones we've talked about already, plus more. So I'll just go through a few different ways that we can use lavender in our family's daily lives. So again, insect bites and stings that will soothe and calm that pain and inflammation. So applied quickly after it's happened, it will help to stop that swelling and pain. Tension headaches. So it's a really soothing and calming oil, this one. You might think of it as your nana's favourite, so it just kind of shows how this one's been used for so long. And it's really calming, so it's often used in bedroom areas, and you might remember those little sachets you used to get to put in your undie drawer and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a really soothing and calming oil. And so yes, tension headaches, so we're just soothing those muscles. You might apply a little to the back of your neck, just around the temples. Again, avoiding the eyes and nose. It's really good for skin. So with the insect bites and things like that, it's good for that. But it's also good for things like psoriasis and eczema. I've used it myself for that, and it's just really soothing for the skin and that inflammation, anti-inflammatory property. And in that way, it's good for sunburn. So I wouldn't suggest if you've got any sort of blistering or peeling that you use any oils on it. But if you've got just that horrible hot sunburn feeling, you can apply this and it will just soothe that. Soothing crying babies is another way that we can use this. But I wouldn't suggest necessarily applying it to the baby, especially if they're quite young. I would apply it under the clothing, onto the shoulder, to your own shoulder, before you then place the baby on that shoulder to soothe them to sleep. And this will just really help to relax and soothe that baby, as well as obviously in your touch and your care. And it may assist in your baby to fall asleep and stay asleep a bit longer. So you could also have it diffusing in the air in the nursery or where your baby's sleeping, in a diffuser, and that's just a nice gentle way of introducing it into the room's atmosphere instead of directly onto the skin or too close to the face, if you're at all concerned about that. But it is a very safe one to use for babies. And mothers. So expecting mothers, we can have a lot of stress, and also aches and pains and tensions and things, and this one is just really nice soothing, even if we're just applying it onto our heart space and just sinking into that nice peaceful feeling, being reassured. And again, with the skin, it's good for wound healing. So if you've had a wound and you're kind of removing the dressing every day and redoing that for yourself, applying a little lavender there will also just help to speed up that healing process. If there's anything that's trying to invade there, trying to infect, it will just help to alleviate that. And sleep. So the whole family at times can go through phases where we don't get enough sleep, and it can be for various reasons, but lavender will just be really calming for us all. So there's the baby example, but also, yes, mums and dads and adults, teenagers, We have all different types of anxieties and stresses and just a whole lot of busy minds. So lavender can just help us calm down at the end of the day. You might put the diffuser on in the lounge or wherever your family gathers at the end of the day, or in the bedrooms, and just have that lovely peaceful atmosphere to wind down before sleep. The fourth oil is peppermint. So this one is a really versatile oil again, and some major properties of this oil is around digestion. So heartburn, upset tummies, mild food poisoning. I wouldn't say it's going to cure you, but it will just help to reduce those horrible feelings that we all must know about. Even things like bloating. So we can use it in different ways. So we can put it into our water. If we're feeling upset tummy, you just drink it, a drop in water, drink that. Probably older children and adults can use that. And then if you're wanting to use it for younger kids, probably applying it topically to their body would be a better way to do it. So putting some carrier oil in your hand and then 1 drop of oil, peppermint oil, and then applying it to the stomach area if that's the sore part, or down to the lower abdomen if there's bloating. It's great for pregnant expectant mothers because it can reduce that heartburn feeling that we might get with reflux and things. So it can be quite helpful. We can drink it or just apply it to that area where the burning sensation is on the outside of our body, and it will actually go absorb into there, and the aromas will come up as well. And there's actually a blend called Digest Zen, specifically for digestive discomfort from time to time. And this one again can be applied topically or taken internally, depending if you're an adult, child. I wouldn't go quite so far as to use it for babies, but pets actually would be a good one to use that one on. And lavender is also really good for pets too, so it is soothing and calming for the entire family, including the fur babies. So yes, peppermint and lavender are good for Digest Zen in particular, good for the pets. Now, what else about peppermint? So we can put it into our food. We can make some really delicious raw chocolate treats and put peppermint oil in there. And I've got another video, my Easter video, if you want to check out some recipes for that. We can put it in natural cleaning products. We can put it in natural toothpastes and things that we can make. It's a really versatile oil. Great for headaches again. So if you've got headaches around the temples or the back of the neck, sort of the brainstem area, the base of the neck, that's really good for soothing the headaches. And it's also good for invigorating. So if you're feeling a bit kind of lethargic in the afternoon and you really want to get that last piece of work done for the day, or you have to go pick up the kids or take them somewhere and you just got to be a bit more alert than you're feeling right now, you can smell that peppermint oil or you can apply it to the back of your neck, and that will just to your chest, and that will just give you those lovely aromas, and it will be really uplifting, perk you up a bit for that afternoon. It is very cooling, as you might recognise when you eat anything peppermint. It has that cooling effect in your mouth. So if there are any kind of mild fevers or anything, you can apply some to a cold flannel. So actually I'll put it into the water, a bowl of water with 1 drop of the peppermint oil. Mix it quite well so it's not all just in 1 drop, and then dip your flannel into the water, soak it, and then just rub that up the arms, around the forehead, avoiding the eyes, remember, onto the chest a little bit, just top of the shoulders, just to soothe that fever. And of course, anything of concern with fevers, you're going to the doctor. But if you've already had that diagnosis and things and you're just trying to soothe it and calm it, then you can use that. Right, so the fifth oil is clary sage. Now, clary sage is a really great one for women's health. So from all through our lives, women go through different hormonal stages, and this one can really be supportive in just balancing those hormones all throughout our lives, from when we're young teenagers and then right through to when we're going through menopause and that end of our lives. So clary sage is a great one for women in particular, but that's not to say that it's not good for men and boys as well. And I've done a whole other presentation on the women's health aspects, and clary sage is in that one too, if you want to have a look at that. Just have a look at the rest of my videos. But in general, clary sage is calming for nervous feelings. So just diffusing it in the air or smelling it or applying it to the skin to get those aromas, and it can absorb into your skin as well. You can get that calming, soothing of the nerves coming through. It's also good for digestive health as well, so you can add it to food and drinks. I'd probably recommend this one more for the older children or teenagers through adults. It's good as well for skin complaints like acne and boils and ulcers. So you can apply, probably diluted in these areas and at those times. And because we can use this one internally, we can use it for mouth ulcers as well. So just probably a bit of a swishing around in the mouth with a bit of water and the oil. You could probably spit it out. It doesn't taste brilliant, but it's not like a yummy peppermint one. But you can just use it in that mouth as well. This one, do not use during pregnancy. So it's great for hormonal balancing, but in pregnancy we don't want to interfere at all with our hormones because they're going through their own natural influx and changes all throughout our pregnancies. So we don't want to interfere with that. And in fact, it has been used in the past, it has been used by people, and it probably still is used to bring on or enhance contractions during labour. So you can imagine why you don't want to use it if you're pregnant and not in labour. Other ways we can use it is for eye inflammation. So I've been saying over and again that we don't want to get it in our eyes, but we can actually apply it just around the area of the eye. And those little tiny particles of aromatics will actually go just around the eye area and positively affect any complaints of eye inflammation. The last way I've got here to use it is for PMS and cramping. So I did say it's great for women's health, and in this way we can apply it directly to the area of concern. So the lower abdomen area, if there's cramping there or pain, we can apply it directly, and again probably dilute with a fraction of coconut oil or carrier oil and just apply there and just observe that relief. I will go through a few more oils just to finish up, but I just wanted to show you my contact details to start with. So thedahall@gmail.com, or just comment on whatever platform you're watching this video and get in touch, or if it's through Facebook, feel free to message me directly. And you can have a free 30-minute consultation with me, either video or phone, and we'll go through the essential oils that might suit you and your family or just yourself, and you can get my advice on how to use them best for you, and I'll actually provide you with a written report as well, so you can refer back to that and decide which ones you would like to start with. So I'll just take you through a couple more of the oils that I think will be great for the whole family or different family members. Where to begin? All right, the On Guard. On Guard is a specific doTERRA blend, and it's got some really nice essential oils that will help with disinfecting and cleaning. So it's good for using for your body, just to keep it healthy, keep anything at bay that's trying to invade every day, and keep it strong so our immune system is strong and ready. And it's great for also surface cleaning, so you can actually mix it into your own cleaners. And there is also a range that includes a laundry powder and a cleaner concentrate specifically for household cleaning, but you can just put the oil into your own homemade cleaning products as well. That's a great one for everybody to use. What else? Lemon, I think I talked about it at the start, but I didn't really say how to use it. So I did mention that you can just drop it into water. So it's really cleansing for your body, and that's like detoxifying. So our bodies naturally create toxins or byproducts of our cell regeneration, and our bodies do naturally get rid of that every day. But if there's certain things like our diet's not very good, we're having a lot of sugar or too much carbohydrate, refined products, or things that aren't organic, which most of us do, then there might be a bit of an overload in our body, and this can cause things like acne and other complaints that I won't go into. And so with the lemon, it's just a gentle, daily, everyday cleansing effect for us. Just helping out to support our body's natural detox functions. Another really good one to have is frankincense. Sorry, you probably can't really read those. Frankincense. You've probably heard of this one, and you might think of it as one of the biblical kind of essential oils. So frankincense is a really great one on its own to either take internally or apply to the skin, and again it will help just our cellular function, so keep our bodies strong and resilient. So 1 drop every day. You can put it directly into your mouth or into water, or however you like to do that. And also it's great to layer onto other essential oils. So for example, if you put some manuka oil on, say a burn or something that's wound healing or something, and then you also lay it on the frankincense, that will just really enhance the effect of both of those oils together. So there's quite a synergistic effect going on. And things like soothing your muscles. So I think it was the eucalyptus, you put that on, and then you layer on the frankincense, and it will really enhance that soothing, muscle soothing feeling. Another good one for when the kids are studying or you're working is rosemary. Rosemary is the oil of the memory and the mind. So you can imagine that when we're smelling rosemary while we're studying, we're thinking about what we're studying, and we're smelling the oil at the same time. And then when it comes to remembering, we remember the oil, and those memories of what we're learning also comes back in. So this is how that functions. Another one is a blend called Elevation. And this is a really great one for our mood. So time to time, the mood in the household can get all influenced by someone who's a bit grumpy or a bit down. Something's gone a bit wrong for them. And Elevation will just uplift the whole atmosphere. So pop that in the diffuser, and it will just uplift the feelings of the people that might not be feeling like that or not wanting to be influenced by that feeling, and actually be able to help that person too. to lift out of that feeling as well a bit faster. A couple of ones that are for the beauty regime. So Salubel is designed for women, so it's a bit more fragrant and floral, and that can be applied straight to the skin after cleansing, and it will have a beautifying effect for the skin. And Amavi is a blend for men that can be used, well, it can be used by anybody, but it was designed for men, and it can be used as an alternative to any kind of aftershave, or after boys want to cleanse their face, and they could just use that. It's got the fractionated coconut oil in there, so it's going to actually be a good base oil, and you could even use it as part of your beard oil as well. And it's just got some really nice male type fragrances in there, including cacao, which is like delicious chocolate smell. So yes, everyone might be after that one. A blend that is great for women for hormonal balancing and mood management as well is Clary Calm. So that one has clary sage in it, but it also has a whole other range of the essential oils that are really good for women's health, hormone balancing and that sort of thing. So again, that one's not for pregnant women, but all other women can use that. Men can use it too. It's just going to have a nice calming and balancing effect on the mood as well. Another one that's great for study and work is called Motivate Blend. Sorry, these are backwards on the video, but you get the idea. So this is a blend that's got citrus and it's got peppermint, and this one has a fraction of coconut oil. You get it as well in a bottle without the coconut oil in it. You can put into the diffuser, but this one you can apply directly to the skin, so you might apply it to the touch points. So it's a little roller there, and you just apply it here. You might smell, or just put it around the décolletage, and the smells can come up. And that one's really great for, as I say, working, studying, getting some enthusiasm going for a project. So it's a really nice blend for the family to use. I've got two more to talk about. So this one is oregano oil. This one can be used as you would oregano in your cooking, just being aware that it is very concentrated, so you definitely want to start with just one drop or even less if you can, and just taste as you go. So oregano is really powerful for your immune system, and if you wanted to mix it into smoothies or juices or other food on a daily basis, you might use one drop, and just recognize it as very powerful. So you might not want to use it too long term. Maybe just if there's something floating around that you want to boost your immunity for, you would use that one. And you can use it on skin if there's infection or something, but just be very careful and definitely dilute it with a carrier oil as well. If you have particularly bad acne and you don't have too sensitive a skin, you could use this. So carrier oil, one drop of the oregano, and just maybe you even with a little, not a cotton bud, but like a Q-tip, apply it directly to the area of concern, and don't get it too far spread because it can actually burn if you are applying it to an area of skin that doesn't need it. This wouldn't be very pleasant. And with any of these oils, if they do cause irritation, just get copious amounts of a carrier oil of any kind, even if it's just olive oil out of the cupboard, and just put it onto that location and just wash it off that way with oil. So you can't actually wash it off with water. It might work with soap, but definitely just get the oil on there and just get it off your skin. That will just really dilute it down and just remove that irritation. So yeah, remember these are therapeutic grade and they're powerful components in them, so just be cautious there. So the very last one I will talk about is a brand new one to New Zealand, is called Adaptive. And this one is a blend, and I'll just tell you a few of the oils that are in it. So we have wild orange, lavender, copaiba, which is one that is really good for pain relief and also cognitive function. We have spearmint, magnolia, rosemary, neroli, which is a citrus flower, and sweet gum. And in the roller, it has fractionated coconut oil, so ready to apply straight to the skin. And in the bottle, it's just neat, so it doesn't have that fractionated coconut oil. And this one is specifically designed to help us adapt mentally. So it's designed to help us with times of stress management, anxiety. So if anyone in the family is suffering from any of those types of things, it could be one to really give a good try. There's nothing in there that is particularly of concern, except if you're pregnant. The rosemary, and I didn't mention that before, is one you shouldn't be around too much. Don't be scared if you have smelt it or something, but I wouldn't be applying it to your skin or taking it internally or anything like that. So yeah, just avoid the rosemary. And just to mention also the On Guard, I would not be using in pregnancy. There's just a couple in there again that have those contractive type effects on our bodies. So back to the adaptive. It's really an aromatherapy one, so we're not taking this internally. We're either diffusing it, applying it topically, and we can use it throughout the day to really support any feelings of anxiety, any low moods, so it will be uplifting to us. And it's really helping just our brain to function in a more measured way, so we're not up and down all over the place. It just helps us to be more calm and more centered in our bodies. So those were all the oils that I wanted to talk to you about in my little handy case. And there was just one more product range that I wanted to mention to you before we go. So this is called the Kids Collection, and it is one that is brand new, now available in New Zealand and Australia. So very exciting. This has just come out for us. And it is a series of 6 roller bottles designed for you to use with your children. So from around kind of school entry age, I'd say, your children can start to use these ones. Now they're formulated to be used topically. So they've already got the fractionated coconut oil in there, and they're already diluted right down to a level where younger children can use them. Not for babies, but probably for kids going towards school age. And it has this little guide, so it tells you what each one is for, and I'll just briefly let you know. So there's one called Thinker, and this one is for focusing. So starting to realize how we have to focus in the classroom, and if focus is a bit of a problem, we might want to use this one. Then we have Calmer. So this one is Restful Blend, so it's helping to calm down our mind to probably help us focus a bit more, or even for sleepy times. Then we have one called Stronger, and this is one for kids that is kind of like the On Guard. So it's helping our immune system, helping us to be resilient in our bodies. Then there's one called Rescuer, and that's a soothing blend. So if kids are out and they're doing a bit of sports, or they're having a bit more activity than normal and their muscles start to get a bit tired, we can educate our kids that we can use this one on our bodies to help us soothe our muscles. Then we have one called Steady, and this is the grounding blend for children. So if there's a bit of anxiety, the adaptive is for, as I said, the older kids and adults, and the steady is the one you might go to for your children. Then there's one called Brave. And this is for maybe our shy ones, and I was one of these, definitely. And it just gives us a bit of courage, a bit of self-reliance, and helps us to realize that, yes, we can do things. So this was a really nice little kit that our kids can take to school. We definitely want to be using them with our children. So you might not send them to school with every single one. You might select one that you know your child needs throughout the day and send them off with that one. They are a glass roller, so you know, they're amber glass and there's a metal roller. So you do have to be confident that your child can sort of handle having that with them. And if not, you can just apply that with your child at the start of the day, and off they go, and they've had that little aromatherapy session with you before they go to school. Or if your teachers or kindy teachers are open to it, you can give them a little bit of education and maybe have that available for your child at school as well. So those were all the ones I wanted to talk to you about today. There are so many oils, and we can all use them as adults and children and babies and in pregnancy and all sorts of ways. But there were just some that I wanted to highlight for you to start with maybe, and the ones that were most versatile for all members of the family. So I would love to hear your feedback. I'd like to hear your questions. Please pop them in the comments and I will look at them all and I will respond. And if, as I said, you want to get into contact with me directly, please just either leave a comment or message me or email me, thedahall@gmail.com, and I will give you that 30-minute free consultation and we can dive into a bit more of your specific needs and I'll provide some more guidance for you. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, like my video on YouTube, and as I said, there's a whole series of other videos available for you to go and check out as well. Right, that's all for tonight, and I will see you next week for our final in this series, where I'll talk about our next topic, and thanks very much for watching.